It's done. The Netherbrain is defeated. Along with the grand design, praise Mother Gith.
My powers, they're draining. Just like Mizora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things.
Fucking hell! It's over!
And the tadpoles have fallen silent, I take it? Good. A mind flare wouldn't make for much of a heroic statue. Ah. Well, perhaps I speak with too much haste.
Even when my time in the prison stretched out like eternity, when escape seemed impossible, I never lost hope. I knew that my destiny was to liberate my people, to return to them triumphant. I was wrong. It seems I can only fulfill one part of my destiny. My people will be liberated, but I cannot return to them. Not like this. You helped me destroy that abomination. Now help me destroy myself. You must kill me. But first, Lae'zel, I need your promise. Carry my hope. Carry my burden. Call my dragons, Kulos and Kuthos, and ride to the Astral Sea. Destroy Vlaakith. Release our people. Be our future and our legacy.
You understand, then? We will never be free while our people are still bound by Vlaakith's chains. Vlaakith will fall, and we will plant a seed. From that seed, Githyanki freedom will blossom.
Lach crashed Makvlek. So be it. Now, give me my freedom from this form. Yes, but for how long? My mind screams. It will never stop until it has slipped away from me entirely. I will not be Ghaik. I did what I did to save my people. The rest is up to them. Someone else must rise within the ranks to lead the revolution against Vlaakith. Give me my freedom from this form. Release my soul to the astral seas, while I still have one to call my own. You are right. I shall find a place for myself in a corner of these realms. For even in darkness, the stars of Tunarath will shine upon me. You were a worthy ally, Rastil. Perhaps it could be you.
Your people are blessed to have him as their prince. I just hope he finds peace in his new form.
Kulos! Kuthos!
Your heart flutters with excitement, aspiration, and even hope. The astral plane awaits. A rebellion takes shape. The future of the Githyanki Empire rests on your shoulders. Battle awaits, and you mean to rise victorious.
I'm hot. Too hot. I think this is it. The engine's finally cooked.
Do not yield, Karlak. This is not your time.
I'm not ready. We did it. I did it. The city's gonna be all right. My friends are going to be all right. I can let go. I'm slipping. I can't hang on. What's happening? Goodbye, sun. Goodbye, sea.
It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no Illithid Empire, no Death God's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate. Navigating the disordered environs of Limbo, you and Lae'zel heard the summons. A telepathic emanation. You are accustomed to receiving dispatches and battle orders from the Githyanki rebel forces in this form. But this was different. An invitation to a gathering of friends. Those allies who stood with you against the Netherbrain. Those who thwarted the grand design. Those who made your war against Vlaakith's tyranny possible. You cannot join them in person, but you shall be with them again, nonetheless. To project your image through the cosmos. Such is the skill of the Prince of the Comet. You have no doubt it can be done.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
It's good to meet again.
Reunited with friends amid...
Well, now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. I'm glad the months have not been wasted. Particularly as I spent them cleaning up the mess we made of the city. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing, huh? Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three, but nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two, if they don't expel her. Again. Ah, yes. Forgive me. There wasn't much time to offer hospitality with an elder brain looming over the city. They ask about you, of course. But I keep them a little too busy for stories. There is still much to do. People to house. A Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city. But so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
You see, Boo? I told you our friend was near.
There you are. Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, so have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long. Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited. I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight. I'd love to see if there's any truth to that. But enough about me. What have you been up to? Do you ever rest? Think of all those poor, budding adventurers looking to make a name for themselves. Take some time off and give them a chance, why don't you? Hopefully, these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves. I'm sure we will, but let's be proactive about it all the same. We're more than capable. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars. Don't be a stranger.
Wish I'd had time to polish up the walls. Aha! There you are.
Goodness. Was Faerun always so dull? Still, at least the company was worth the trip, if not the view. I told you I would. I imagine you're wondering how all this came to be. The finer points of divine ascension are beyond mortal comprehension, I'm afraid, but I can provide a rudimentary sequence of events. First, I retrieved the crown of Karsus and reforged it using a series of precise and highly complex Netherese incantations. Then, I used it. As you know, the orb within me was the half-formed Karsite Weaver. Magic left incomplete by Karsus' self-destruction. I finished it. Using the Crown of Karsus, I turned it into a new form of magic, fused with my being, driven by my purpose. And then I put it to work. As expected, Mystra was unwilling to hand over the reins of the Weave, so I've claimed dominion over another area which I've passing familiarity. Ambition. I can say this much for now. Mystra is welcome to her dominion. My aims are set a little higher than offering cursory blessings to just any half-decent spellcaster. I exist not to bestow favors on my followers, but to inspire them to seize their destinies for themselves, exactly as I did. I'm their proof. Proof their hopes are not barren wastes, but the loamy soil in which their future achievements flourish. Proof that with ambition, anything is possible. You see? Now you're realizing there are already several shrines in my honor scattered across the outer reaches of Thay, and rumors of a very prominent temple under construction in Arm. This is only the beginning. Don't worry. With the ambition you hold, you'll never be too far from my sights. Pursue your dreams, and keep me in your prayers, and who knows? They might just get answered. To be a god among men.
For 2 months we trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more we skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet we traveled through Limbo. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents and a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure our projections here. Worth every one of those days and every drop of their sweat. Right here, right now. There's no other place I'd sooner be. Enjoy your night, chatter away. For tomorrow, we face Zereth Minyaragith.
Zereth Menya Agith. How well you know the name. The immortal god king of the Githzerai, and the ruler of their capital, Shraktalor.
I do. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. He will aid us if we meet him in the same spirit, my love.
Love. The word hangs in the air for a moment, before Lae'zel continues, unfazed.
And if he refuses, we carry on. Gravity pulls us in but one direction. We are warriors of the Comet. We will blaze forth until we burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. And when the Comet has risen, we will be forever together, as surely as Kalir will forever circle the sun. Love. Until you proved me a fool, I am forever grateful. A taste I will never grow tired of.
I've almost forgotten what it's like.
So you made it!
I wish it could last forever.
Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. Or here I am. I'm not sure about you. It's good to see you too. You know, I was concerned you'd land yourself in trouble without me to look after you, but I see you're doing just fine as you are. Flying across the cosmos on the backs of dragons, waging war on your mad queen. I couldn't be more proud. exactly what I feared. Without the protection of our little friends, I was just an ordinary spawn again, burning in the sun. I fled the dock and found refuge in the shadows until night fell. I'm sorry I didn't seek you out that night. I felt ashamed. Like I'd lost everything just as you claimed your victory. I didn't want you to see me like that. But time lent perspective. It wasn't your victory, it was ours. And for all I'd lost, I'd gained so much more. I had freedom, strength, a whole new life. And it was time to live it. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been. I did at first. I spent too long defined by what other people did to me, the choices other people made for me. But that's over now. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse. That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months are endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. You are right, of course. I am accustomed to dwelling on the past, even when it brought me nothing but unhappiness. You changed that, and gave me the most precious of memories. Now the task is to make yet more of them, so that each reunion shall be all the sweeter. And who's to say we need to make such gatherings a rare occasion? My hearth is yours to warm yourself beside always. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together. Of course. Disagreements, friction, opposing cultures, and our fair share of petty nonsense that I shall not bore you with. It is to be expected wherever people gather to make a life for themselves. And, in truth, I think I am better able to help them navigate it than I ever was as Archdruid of the Grove. I am wiser, perhaps, but I am certainly happier. Hardships are rare and diminished when you are where you truly want to be. As am I. I may aid... Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. I am all ears, though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image. You have kept... I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else. Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail, they ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned. On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence. I spend half my days in Ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps as did I, but some... Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, even at a ripe old age. I was just thinking the very same. If only we could stay like that forever. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on. Enjoy the festivities. We can speak again later.
The only thing I fear is the ever-growing size of your ego, Gale.
Tara. It hurts to be so misunderstood by my oldest friend.
The whole gang is here. Wish I'd had time to polish up the horns. There you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
Projection is holding.
One so fleshly so form, Withers is well versed in preparing a meat. Hey, no, it's it.
Cool, fresh air. By the living gods, I needed it.
The past made present. I'm glad for it. For this.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Good song, good company, and good wine from the looks of it. A beautiful night. I wish it could last forever.
I must be careful to not overindulge tonight.
Boo! We are not dreaming! It is our old friend! Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder if he was some blind bug who... You will forgive the aroma, I hope. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover. Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jahira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no? She told Minsk and Boo to behave themselves, which is why we shall be back in our cell, but leave such matters for the morn. Tonight, how have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? Minsk hears the determination rattle your cry. Boo will remind him of the details later. He has the memory of a miniature giant space elephant. There is much merriment to be made before this pond shall do nicely, Boo. Though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
To your relief, your projection holds. It took a dozen gish you can touch, taste, and talk. But your the Githzerai God King, Menyar Agith, sent word through the cosmos. He knows of your rebellion, and he's agreed to parley. Should the Githzerai join you, you could vanquish Vlaakith in a red dragon's blink.
A great warrior of the comet walks among us. Well, a projection of her at least. Ugh, probably for the best. I smell like a 70-year-old cinder. Withers yanked me from Avernus with my blade halfway through a Cambion's belly. I'll forget all that. By the stars' light and the moon's glow, it's so good to see you, and I've got so much to tell you. The Hell Hunt's no mere duty. It's a thrill. The demons I've disintegrated. I don't suppose you'd indulge me. Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Amnitsu at the Styx, the three-tusked Orthon, or the invading Gorestroy? Word travels fast when a devil crosses the Delembir Vale near Daggerford. It had traveled a hell rift to a long-forsaken shrine. Luckily, the trail it scorched into the frontiers was hard to miss. It led to an isle of cracked rock in Avernus, floating amid a molten... And then it charged, splitting the ground with every thud so fast it left a trail of smoke. Nick it, not with a blade, not with an arrow. It was the War Devil's weight that proved its own undoing. The third charge it made, I struck the rock with hate. The Orthon slowly sunk, howling into the magma beneath. I let two of its tusks sink with it. The third, I sliced free and presented to the first Duke of Daggerford, a rare trophy to grace his walls. I won't lie. So I stoked new fires in myself using the lessons my father once taught me. The Blade of Avernus is a... I've seen him more than a few times. And he's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the... And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall... He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the... Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. I've missed you too. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear. I can't imagine. I wish you'd been there to join in. I suppose. But the people we were. Warriors. Go on, the night's young. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Cool, fresh air. By the living gods, I needed it.
The past made present. I'm glad for it. For this.
Haven't you any ambitions, Tara? I could help you, you know?
Oh? At what cost?
A prayer or two would suffice. That's so bad.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. You've no idea who I am. I owe him a favor. I thought honoring the worthy was a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another. Languishing in obscurity. Cyric knew what he was doing when he punished me for that song. Before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song prayers coming out.
You feel a pang of divine guilt. Musical prayers went out of fashion among bards when Melil, Lord of Song, offended the god Cyric and was ejected from the pantheon.
I'm washed up, I'm afraid. You. Deep down, I knew you'd recognize me. You're a fellow bard, after all. What can I do you for? Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want? Fantastic.
thou feelst it still. Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often?